You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly. You have successfully joined the webcast. Please stand by. The meeting will begin shortly.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. This is Rose Jeffrey, the Corporate Secretary of Harlem Community Development Corporation. I would like to welcome everyone to the meeting and ask that you please mute your phone and keep it muted unless you're speaking. For the record, before we begin, I'll be taking a roll call of the directors to ensure we have a quorum present. If you're on the line, please say present when you hear your name. Maria Teresa Arce, Jalissa Quigley for Sean Abu, Council Member.
Present.
Michelle Cruz for Diana Ayala, Council Member. William Allen for Senator Cordell Clare.
Present.
Lamond Mays for Assembly Member Inez Dickens.
Present.
Holly Drakeford.
Present.
Shauna Marks for Congress Member Adriana Espayat.
Present.
Frida Foster,
Present.
Yolanda Ford for Superintendent of Department of Financial Services,
Present.
Athena Moore for Mark Levine, Borough President. Athena, are you there?
Present. I'm sorry, you
Thank
can hear me?
you.
Hear me? Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. Gabrielle Lewinstein for Assembly Member Daniel O'Donnell.
Present.
Dana Reed,
Present.
Terrell Brock for Senator Jose Serrano.
Present.
Ernestine Bell Temple for Assembly Member Al Taylor.
Present.
Hello, this
And
is Marita. This is Maria Arce.
Thank you, Maria. Okay, thank you. We'll note. Deneen Brown for Commissioner Rutan Venesca.
Present.
Thank you. Okay, and staff members, we have Richard Dorado, Curtis Archer, Sankar Singh, Destiny Burns, Colleen Turner Beverly, Victoria Gordon, and Rose Jeffrey. Thank you all. We now have a quorum. I'll now turn this meeting over to Frida Foster, acting chair for today's meeting. Frida?
Thank you, Rose. Good morning. My name is Frida Foster, and I'm honored to serve as chair for today's meeting. Before we get started, I remind everyone, please mute and keep your phones on mute until you are ready to speak. And when and if you do speak, please be sure to state your name clearly at the start. I now call to order the meeting of the directors of the Harlem Community Development Corporation for Friday, February 11th, 2022. Due to the ongoing public health concern and in accordance with recently passed legislation, this meeting will be conducted by teleconference. The public was given the opportunity to comment on today's agenda item by submitting their written comments by 5:30 p.m. yesterday, February 10th, 2020, to hcdcboard@esd.ny.gov. No comments were received from the public. The directors have received the written materials in advance of today's meeting, and they are free to ask questions at any time during the presentations. Before we begin with the substantive portion of the meeting, I would like to ask the directors whether anyone has any potential conflict of interest with respect to the agenda item. If so, I would ask that you please make an appropriate disclosure on the record at this time so we can be sure that you recuse yourself from any discussion or vote regarding the item. Are there any recusals or conflicts of interest? Okay. Hearing none, the foregoing has been noted for the record. And our first order of business is the approval of the minutes for the Board of Directors meetings held on July 30th, 2021 and October 29th, 2021. May I have a motion for the approval of the minutes?
This is Holly Drakeford. I am making the motion for the approval of the minutes.
Thank you, Holly. Is there a second?
Deneen Brown, second.
Thank you, Deneen. It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor, please respond by here or aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Thank you. That the minutes are approved. Up next is Ms. Victoria Gordon, who will present the request for authorization to enter into contract with Luxentech Inc. for window replacement services at 428 East 117th Street. Ms. Gordon.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Frida. This morning, I am asking for the authorization for Harlem CDC to enter into a window replacement contract with Luxentech Inc., a window replacement company located in Massachusetts, New York. This project will replace 284 windows at a 35-unit residential property at 428 East 117th Street. The owner of the property is Mutual Housing Association of New York, 2004 HDFC, and the amount of the contract is not to exceed $355,421, with $323,110 being the actual contract amount and a 10% contingency of $32,311.
Amen.
Reservation will fund up to $210,000 of this project, and $145,421 will be the owner's contribution. That is the landlord of the property. I want to say that yes, these windows seem to be very expensive, but they are a different type of window that we normally use. Weatherization is now moving into a phase of trying to do a better quality window. This is an actual UPVC window where the sash and parts of the window are no longer aluminum, but made out of UPVC material. And the glass on the window is also something that will prevent heat loss. So it's an energy efficient type of window, and it is a little bit more pricey. Hence the amount of the contract that we are asking for you to approve today. If there are any questions, I would be happy to answer them.
Thank you, Ms. Gordon. Are there any questions from the directors?
Yeah, I have a question.
May I state your name, please?
William Allen.
Oh, hello, William. Your question.
Is the vendor a minority or women-owned company?
The vendor is not a minority company. We have minority companies on our list, and we send them out with our requests for bids. But we usually do not get responses. So far for this contract, we did not get a response from any minority company.
Are there any other questions? Okay.
This is Holly Drakeford. I was wondering, so this went out to open bid, or how are these guys selected?
Yes, it is an open bid of the people that are on our bidders list.
Okay, so that's the second list then. If you're not MWB, then there's a bidders list. All right, so these guys got the bid.
Okay. Is that okay? Are there any other questions? All right. Hearing none, is there a motion for approval for this item?
Holly Drakeford, I'll put a motion to approve this item.
Thank you,
replacement of the windows.
Thank you, Holly. May I have a second?
Deneen Brown, second.
Thank you. All those in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? That passes. Thank you. Now, Ms. Gordon will present the request for authorization to enter into contract with Luxentech Inc. for window replacement services at 222-238 East 119th Street. Ms. Gordon.
Thank you, Freedom. So this is the second contract for this particular vendor. Again, Luxentech, located in Maspeth, New York. We will be replacing 448 windows at 222-238 East 119th Street. It is the same vendor and the same landlord. The contract is going to be $558,536, which includes the contract amount of $507,760 and a 10% contingency of $50,776. Reservation will fund up to $360,000 of this cost, and $198,536 will be owner's contribution. If there are any questions about this, I would be happy to answer.
Any questions going once? Any questions going twice? All right, hearing none. May I have an approval, a motion for approval for this item?
Holly
This is Dana
Drakeford.
Reed. So, go ahead.
Go ahead, Dana. Go ahead, Dan.
This
Ladies
is,
first.
this is Dana Reed. So moved.
This is Holly Drakeford. I second it.
Thank you very much. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Are there any opposed? Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Gordon. Now, for informational
Thank
purposes,
you.
next up on the agenda for informational purposes only, we have Ms. Destiny Burns, who will present an update for the Victoria Theater project. There is no vote on this item. This is for information only. Ms. Destiny.
Good morning. Thank you, everyone. I wanted to welcome all the new directors and designees. And I will begin with a brief overview of the project for those who weren't with us over the last year or so. And I'll give a history of the lease and finish with the current project status. HCDC signed a 5-year lease with the developer 233 Danforth in the summer of 2015, and the project began construction in the fall. The project's goal is to transform the long vacant Victoria Theater into a 385,000 square foot, 27-story mixed-use development that will restore the facade and lobby of the landmark theater in accordance with SHPO guidelines. The project includes the construction of a full-service hotel with 200 rooms and entertainment space, approximately 200 residential units, half of which are designated for low and moderate income families, approximately 25,000 square feet of retail space, and approximately 25,000 square feet of theater and art space, which is our cultural unit, which consists of a 99 and 199 seat theater to be operated and managed by Apollo Theater Foundation, which was designated by this board in 2015 as well. The original lease required that the project be substantially complete by August 4th of 2020. At the request of the developer, the directors have authorized 4 lease amendments, 3 of which have been executed. The first authorization was on August 5th of 2020, was for an amendment that extended the lease expiration date to August 30th, 2021, and provided financial relief from some of the developer's financial obligations under the original lease, as well as authorization to place the residential portions of the project in service prior to the completion of the entire project. The second authorization was on April 30th, 2021. It was an amendment that extended the lease expiration date to October 31, 2021. The third authorization was on July 30th, 2021. It was for a possible 2-part extension of the lease for up to 15 months from the closing date of the project refinancing with the proposed lender, Ladder Capital, that would provide the capital necessary to complete the project. A lease amendment was not executed because the refinancing didn't occur and the developer engaged another lender. At our October 30th, 2021 meeting, the directors authorized HCDC to amend the lease term as necessary for an extension to a date no later than February 28th, 2022, allowing up to the requested 4 months to permit the developer a reasonable period of time to negotiate and close on its proposed refinancing and submit outstanding documents to ESD's Office of Contractor Supplier Diversity. And an additional extension to allow sufficient time to complete construction of the project and meet requirements necessary for HCDC to convey the property. In regards to the refinancing necessary to resume the project, the developer is in the late stage negotiations with the new lender and expected to close by the end of this month. The developer has met with ESD's Office of Contractor Supplier Diversity to finalize its plan to satisfy MWBE requirements. Construction is largely unchanged since our last meeting. The facade and restoration of the marquee and lobby are substantially complete. The residential component of the project is complete. The affordable lottery wrapped up last month. Those tenants are expected to move into the building next month. The market rate leasing process is still ongoing. The retail component is 90% complete. The developer reported signing leases with Princess Jenkins of the Brownstone Boutique, Sushi Inaway, a Michelin-rated restaurant, and J.T. Thompson for a hip-hop museum on the second floor. They're still in negotiations with Harlem-based businesses, including a daycare, a high-end men's grooming spa, and an operator for the rooftop dining facility. The hotel is 80% complete. When it's fully staffed, is expected to provide 58 full-time hotel jobs to Upper Manhattan residents through a training initiative sponsored by the Upper Manhattan Empowerment Zone in partnership with the development team, SUNY Manhattan Educational Opportunity Center, and the hotel manager, Real Hospitality Group. The cultural unit is 75% complete. It is scheduled to be turned over to HCDC by the final lease expiration date, and it will be operated by Apollo Theater Foundation and provide lower cost performance and practice based on 125th Street for local arts and cultural organizations. That completes today's update, and we'll provide more information in the coming days. There'll be another update at our next meeting that will be scheduled for the end of next month. Thank you again.
Thank you, Ms. Burns. Are there any questions?
Oh, that was a great report. This is Deneen Brown. I just wanted to know, when are we going to be able to take a visit?
So I had a quick conversation with another director about that. So in the coming weeks, I'm gonna have a conversation with the developer so that we could schedule that, since the restrictions for COVID have lessened, and so I'm gonna get that in motion now.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Great.
You're
Looking
welcome.
forward to it. Any other questions?
This is Athena. I just wanted if you had any additional information about the market rate leases. You mentioned that the affordable lottery leases wrapped up. What is the next with respect to the market rate leases?
So the market rate units they've been leasing since last year. And so I don't know the exact percentage that have already been leased. I just know it's not at 100% yet. I actually went in to do a tour of some of the units and met some of the tenants. So they're somewhat occupied. I could get a number if you want.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you. And so next week, we'll look forward to hearing more about possibly visiting. That would be wonderful. Thank you, Ms. Burns. Is there any additional business? Okay. There being no further business.
Excuse me, this is Dana Reed. Can I make an announcement? It's not necessarily business.
Sure.
It's about the Africa Center, which is in our neighborhood. It's been a long project. I'd like to have the team come and present an update at a future meeting. But right now, what I want to announce is the opening of their first exhibit, which will open on February 23rd. And the exhibit is in partnership with the Museum of Food and Drink called MoFab. And it is African American Making the Nation's Table, which basically takes visitors on a journey through the diaspora and how important food has been a part of not just the diaspora's culture, but worldwide. And Curtis, if it's okay with you, I'd love to send an invitation for distribution. And like I said, it opens on February 23rd, and it will be open through Juneteenth.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Yeah. Very nice.
Thank you. Thank you, Dana. Any other announcements?
This is Athena again. I know we're moving quickly. With respect, just
Athena?
Go back for a minute
We
with
can't hear you,
respect
Athena.
to the,
Athena?
I wanted to just ask, that's going to be conducted. Yeah, can you hear? Just
Athena,
an update on the.
Your sound is distorted. I don't if we can understand everything that you're trying to say.
I'm not sure why. I'm on my cell, but it was a question about the job training to be done.
Okay.
Are there any further updates on that end?
Actually, the training did stall when the construction stalled. So we'll have more information once the project is back up and running, and we have a firm completion date. There were some people who were trained. I want to say there were about 10 people who were trained and got jobs in other hotels because they got the training, but the training stalled when the project stalled, and they're waiting for further information so that it can be scheduled right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you. There being no additional business, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
This is Dana Reed. I move to adjourn.
Thank you, Dana. Thank you, Denise.
Ollie Drakeford, I make a second.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Any opposed? No. Thank you, everyone, for your participation in today's meeting. The meeting of the directors of the Harlem Community Development Corporation is adjourned. Have a lovely weekend.
Thank you.
Happy
Bye-bye.
Valentine's
Thank you.
Day.
You too. Good job,
Thank
Frida.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Frida.
Thank you.